Good morning, traders. So it's Monday, the 14th of August. Great British pound, US dollar. Long positions. I've closed out two positions fully for about 50 pips. I've got one I'm still holding at the moment. So this is the screenshot I'm about to put in the Discord group of my entries. And you can see I got 3 entries here. However, one of them did get me into a little bit of profit and then into a little bit of drawdown before I added 4 positions, and then we got the move up. So I got in from down here on one position, which was, I'll talk about it in a minute, but at this value area. Also got this high delta volume area here, which is where we pulled back into, and that's where we saw the true reversal happen. So I added 2 more positions there. I'm now out on these two for 50 pips, and I've got this one still running at the moment. Reason for getting out, again, I'll talk to you again in a minute, but it's basically at this area here, which is his single, which is his imbalance fill, which was also in alignment with the previous day's VWAP. Right. So with all that said, let's get into it properly. Let's get rid of this screenshot now, like so. So weekly, very quickly, I had seen last week's low there. This morning, or in Asia, we came down and just took the liquidity below previous week's low. So I was, when I got up this morning, looking to see if I was any opportunities to get long. That was my bias. So let's get rid of that. So that was all that I looked at on the weekly. I could see on the daily chart, we'd opened in Asia at this point of control. Tested it, came down, created a single print as we broke out of prior day's value, as you can see, and then we swept the liquidity from Friday's low by about a pip or 2 pips. Having seen this single print area, so we traded down. You can see then we pulled back, traded down, we pulled back into this single print. So this single print had been referenced quite a lot of times in Asia. Then we broke out, taking the liquidity there. So I was thinking I wasn't going to be too sure about taking a short again from this single print area, having seen that it had been, like, you could say, mitigated a couple of times previously. I thought any kind of reaction from there is not going to be a big drop down below this liquidity here. So I was looking, had more of a long bias, let's say, after seeing all that. But I then needed to get a finer entry. So coming into custom morning chart open, you can see we opened here. We've got, actually, let me just make this smaller so you can see it. Actually, let's just do it here. That's easier, isn't it? So custom morning chart opens here. I know we've got the single print here, which was in alignment with that single print area on the daily. So we opened here, auctioned on down. You can see here we've got a value area. We've also got a volume node there, and we've also got this yellow double block there. That's high delta. So I thought that could be an area of interest as well. So I just made that my buy zone, if you want to call it that. And that's my, premium point of interest. Let's call it that as well. So I entered, we came down. I could see on the footprint chart, which I'll show you in a minute, prior chart opening, a lot of buy side delta taking place within a 30-minute period. So I was like, there's a lot of buying. I'm going to be looking for longs. I just need to get the execution. So we came down into this area here, which is where I put one aggressive long position in. But I knew we had single print. I mean, if I was being sensible, I should have took profits there, but I didn't. So I went into profit, saw us tap the single print area, still confident in my longs. I decided instead of taking profits, I'd hold. We then come back down into my break evens. I held that position into this delta cluster here, which I think was in alignment with London Open, I think it was. Which is where I then added 2 more positions. And then, as you can see, we got the spike up. And I took profits. Let's make this smaller now. I took profits. I had marked this area out, which is a previous value area low, where we kind of burst through that on a previous day. And also we've got obviously this area of interest as well, which is this value area with some delta there. So I just made that kind of a take profit area. Also in alignment with the previous day's VWAP, which you can see there, and also this imbalance. There's a little bit left over, as you can see, which hadn't been filled. So we came up, and as you can see, we filled that, and that's where we rejected from. So that was all my confluences for taking profits. The profiles, the previous day's VWAP, and this imbalance fill to the pit. Look at that, perfect. And as I say, I've still got one position running, but got a bit of an indecision candle there. We might get a bit of a pullback, so I might look to close out all this position what I've got running, or some of it in a minute when I get off this call, this video. But the reason I decided I'd hold that remaining position is because you can see from Friday all these equal highs, and then again Asia open, so you can see there's going to be above there quite a bit of liquidity. So that's why I'm holding a position at the moment, to see if we do get that pump up. But if we retrace too much more, I will lock in my profits and bank some more money, as it's a Monday morning and I want the money. So that's the reasons for taking the trade this morning. Fairly straightforward. Oh, footprint. Put this over. Now I can't remember what time frame I was on. Let's try 30 minutes. Yeah. So when I got up this morning, I'd seen that obviously you can see we came down into these imbalance and filled out, setting the current day's initial balance low. And then look, this is 6 o'clock. You can see in this 30-minute period, 432 on the buy side with a massive increase in volume. So I'd seen that, and that was what got my interest in looking for longs. Got pulled back into this point of control here. Which would have been in alignment with that value area on the morning chart, where I got my first aggressive entry in. I then was flicking through the time frames. Let's try 15. So I had one entry in. I had then seen, I think it was the pull. Yeah, so we then got the pullback into London Open. I added my other positions. I then saw this stacked imbalance form as we came back up into the day, into the morning single prints, which gave me confidence to hold the positions. And as you can see, we then got a pullback and then up into my stacked imbalance fill, as you can see there. And now at the moment, my remaining position, we're kind of loitering around, but I'm hoping for continuation. As I say, sweeping that liquidity on the daily. 7 minute, I might pick. And I'm hoping we're going to pump up now, but we'll see. If I do see it starting to retrace back, I will close that position out because and protect my money. So that's the reasons for me taking the trade anyway. And yeah, that would be it for this morning. I might look back this afternoon, although after a good start to the week, I don't really need to. So I might just play it safe and sit out this afternoon. And yeah, cool. All right, nice one. Cheers, guys. Catch you on the next one. Over and out.